segment for you. We got to catch up and interview someone who's really important to this ministry and someone many of you will recognize as well.
Yes, Dr. William Loveless, the former senior pastor of University Church, many of you may not know, was the true inspiration behind the development of LLBN.
And he had a profound impact on your personal spiritual life too, didn't he?
Yes, he did. After leaving the church for over 15 years and was lost in the world, Dr. Loveless took me in a kind way. He showed kindness, respect, and love, and these qualities was unusual and very appealing for me to return to the church.
And even today, love, kindness, and respect remain some of the main principles you want to portray here in LLBN.
That's right, and Dr. Loveless continues that kind of a spirit among all those he comes in contact with. But I visited with him and asked him, Dr. Loveless, how did you get interested in media and television?
Okay, very early I saw a need for television. When I started in the pastoral ministry, television was still young, and denominationally we had HMS Richards, and we had a television station out of New York City, but local television I felt needed to be heard too. So my first assignment in Spokane, Washington, I went to the local little Mickey Mouse television station and volunteered services, and they said fine. They needed help too. And so that's where I started, and I've always felt a need to be involved in the city where I was, and I always have been managed to do that. I've found television stations very open to good programming, even if it's just a talking head. So I tried to take at least two people, went and Bevan and I would do a dialogue, and that went very well too. So that's where I really developed my interest in television while I was a pastor in a local church.
You know, as a matter of fact, Bill, if you hadn't stood behind us, there might have not been an LLBN, and we thank you for that.
There's nothing in this world more exciting to me than a group of volunteers, than a group of people who see a vision and who are ready to commit themselves to it. That's the most exciting thing in the world to me, and I saw that when I came here to this local area, and I saw this group of men and women who were ready to volunteer. That's the most exciting thing I can think of. That's what makes the world work. And I saw you, Ganem Hannah, and a few other people that were capable of doing something I couldn't do. I can talk, I'm a minister, I can preach, but I couldn't do anything like running a television station or a radio station or running anything really like that. And so I saw a group of people committed to making something work. That's the exciting thing about the whole LLBN program.
You know, Bill, I think if you had to, you could have run the station just fine. But listen, looking forward 17 years later, how do you feel about the station today?
I'm thinking of 3 or 4 people that I hear from regularly that can't go to church. Brohim Ebbs in Texas, for instance, good guy. I know I've known Brohim for all his life in my life. We started as young men together, now he's retired and so have I. And people all around wanting to know what's next on LLBN. What are the plans for LLBN? Yeah. We are church for these people, Ganem. We are church. LLBN is church. They don't go to church. They can't go to church. They're homebound. Many of them, I hear from them on a regular basis because they've seen me, and I think the most important thing that they want to know is what are the plans for the future. What kind of program can they plan to see? They see it, they see church, they love the university church, it's their church. They're homebound or they're not near churches. Brohim Ebbs lives in Texas. There's no Adventist church nearby. I said, Brohim, call the conference office and see if there's any Adventists in town. He said, I did. I called the conference office, and there aren't any Adventists in the town I live in Texas. He's on the coast of Texas. This is LLBN's church.
What a great story, Bill. It just makes it worthwhile. All the great efforts put behind the scene between University Church, LLBN to bring this live service, and the donors helping it week after week.
People should give to LLBN because the programming of LLBN is directly aimed at helping non-believers and believers alike build a faith in God. In a world where you can turn on the news and see all kinds of misery going on all over the world, there needs to be some place where you can tune in and see good stuff happening. And that's the point of LLBN, and that's why they should give to it, because the big corporations of the world are funding all of these news shows and all the shows that show all the bad stuff that's happening everywhere. And we limp along with no corporational help of any kind to try to show the good stuff that's happening. That's why they need to watch LLBN.
Bill, you're absolutely right. Our mission is about sharing the good news. But also, I know you have a few thoughts you want to share with our viewers about how they could help the ministry of LLBN.
There is a lot of things to hope for and a lot of things to be thankful for. My daughter has some pet squirrels in her yard. They come for breakfast every morning. It's a very positive experience for her to have these animals depend on her, and these animals to be part of her yard. It's important for people to see a simple, straightforward, trusting Lord. To see in a world that's full of bad news, to see a Lord that brings good news to people whose marriages are falling apart, to people whose kids are misbehaving, to husband and wives who end up wondering if they should be together, to people who are poor and don't have enough and are tempted to steal a little bit here and there, to desperate people who do more than that to try to survive. There is a Lord coming with a positive message. And what is the positive message? The positive message is, I love you. There's nothing more important than that message. You are loved. It doesn't matter who's watching, why you're watching, or what you bring to Him. In terms of disappointed people, disappointment, disagreement, arguing, fighting, even killing. It doesn't matter. The good part of it is there's hope for all of that. There are solutions for you that are positive, that are free, if you only claim them. That's what has to be done.
Wow, that was a really great interview.
Yes, it was, really nice to revisit with Dr. Loveless in his home and kind of remember this spirit of inspiration that he's continuously motivating us to move forward. Right.
I really like that part of the story where he said that how people depend on LLBN for the live church service. It really is their church. Week after week they get to watch Randy Roberts and other pastors and the music and the whole service and Vespers as well. That's their church and they depend on it. And I'd like to encourage our viewers, if you'd like to be part of the LLBN ministry, to keep the live church service and other programs airing day after day, and encourage you to make a donation to LLBN. You can do that 3 ways. One is to go to our website at www.llbn.tv. Click on the donate button and you'll be able to make a secure online donation that way. You could also give us a call at 1-866-552-6881 weekdays, and the operators will be happy to take your gift, process it, answer any questions you may have. You can also write to us, mail us a check at P.O. Box 550, Loma Linda, California 92354. And once again, I want to thank all our viewers for keeping LLBN, all our programs on the air all these years.
You know, one final thought. It was really nice visiting with Bill again, but as we are leaving his house and he's walking us to the door, he laid his hands on my shoulder and he said, guys, don't slow down, keep up the good work, be encouraged. And this is the spirit that Bill had operated by all these years, and we're much grateful to his guidance and encouragement. On that note, we're out of time here today. Thank you for being with us. God bless you. Keep us in your prayers.
In my opinion, there is one thing that everybody watching LLBN can do that could be the most help, and that is to daily pray for the success of LLBN. Nothing is more important than that. Having said that, I want to take one more step. It's not the most important step because I just stated the most important step, which is daily prayer for the station and for the programs. The second thing to do is to make a significant, regular commitment to LLBN. Now, I used several words that I've selected very carefully. It has to be ongoing, like I am supporting LLBN. I, every year, give an amount to LLBN which is significant for me. It might not be significant for anybody else, but it's significant for me. I think everybody who watches the program needs to do the same thing that I'm doing. A significant amount for you on a regular basis, so LLBN can count on that. Because this doesn't run free. We have all kinds of people that are helping that are not getting paid. And I appreciate that, and I know about that, and that should continue. But we need regular prayer on a daily basis, and we need regular commitments, financial, on a regular basis to make this thing work.